Welcome to the SNA Live Podcast, hosted by Three the Hard Way. This is for the culture. Black and Latinx. Where you at?
What's good, cigar fam, and welcome to SNA Live, the podcast not just about cigars and cigar lounges, but life in general. Because if you're smoking cigars with your peoples in a nice lounge and only talking about cigars, then you missed the whole motherfucking point. We're recording as always from Smoking Ashes Cigars and Haberdashery, the newest, hottest cigar lounge in these United States. Now seen on One Institution Media's platform in addition to our usual platforms. With me for this particular episode are my partners in crime, Malachi and Brian. Say what's up to the people.
Hey guys, how's it going? Great to be here. Great to be here.
How you doing?
And just so we're clear, for anything that might be said, remember our names. My name is Conrad. We got Malachi to my left, and to the far left we have Brian. This is episode number 4, entitled Bae-Watch. But not like that corny 80s or 90s TV show with the people in the bathing suits. Bae spelled B-A-E, exactly, slow-mo. And for those that don't know what Bae is, it's an acronym standing for Before Anyone Else. I think the millennials came up with that one.
Yes, they did. Of course they did. Of course.
Because everything
has to have a reason.
Exactly.
Everything.
It's always like acronyms and abbreviations, and nobody talks in fucking English anymore. So, the topics for today. We're gonna break down everything before we start. We got what we're gonna be drinking, what we're gonna be smoking. But topic 1, we're gonna be talking about thots and jump offs. Topic number 2, we're gonna talk about wifey, aka your queen. As usual, we're gonna have the notable mention. We're going to be talking about the esteemed Miss Shirley Chisholm. And also we're going to have our last call. And in our last call, we're going to have 2 topics for you for the last call this time around. We're going to be talking about strippers. And the one, does it exist? And as usual, we're going to have our segment, What You Rockin' With. And with that being said, as usual, cut your stick, light them up, and let's get it popping.
Welcome to SNA Live, a podcast like no other. Featuring Three the Hard Way. You want it, you got it.
Yes. Back again, episode 4. Bae-Watch. Baby. Listen, everything that we say here is just strictly fictional. We have no ties to any of this. These are just stories. You have to learn how to decipher what's real and what's not. This is for your listening and viewing pleasure only. So get your stick, get your seat, get your drink, and let's rock. Episode number 4.
Bae-Watch, yeah, we're back. So, as I said in the intro, before we get into today's topics, and this is gonna be a fun episode, by the way. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Once again, everything's purely hypothetical. We take no responsibility for anything said or not said on the show. So, and what we say are in no way, in any way, shape, or form tied to One Institution Media. They take no responsibility for our words, actions, or thoughts.
Solely the thoughts and intellectual property of SNA podcast. Okay, so it's just for show.
Yeah. All
Maybe.
Words by Brian, Malachi, and Conrad. So we got a nice little drink. We got our cigars. So Brian, I'm gonna start with you. What are you smoking today?
All right. For me right now, I've decided to go to one of our old staples that we've had in the humidor for a little while. Great company called Black Label Trading.
Okay.
Amazing blender by the name of James Brown. I was gonna make a joke about it, but his name is really James Brown.
Oh, word?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
James Brown, master blender. He has a beautiful factory down in Nicaragua. I know he's spoken about, hopefully trying to get down there sometime.
Sometime soon, definitely.
Yeah. Dope dude, though. He's into art, and he's got his company that mixes the blending of art, like marketing and cigars. So, like, they have this whole movement going on. It kind of feels like I want to say a mirror image like of us, but like when I look at how they do things, you know what I mean? Like I could just feel like, you know what I mean? It's very progressive.
Because it's not just the quality of the cigar, it's the imagery that they provide as well.
Yeah, they really went all out.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm smoking the Salvation from the Black Label line.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, you have a Ecuadorian sun-grown Habano wrapper. I mean, that's one of my favorites right there. The binder, if I'm not mistaken, is Honduran. And the fillers are both Honduran and Nicaraguan as well.
Nice.
So it's a well-curated cigar, great in construction. I love the flavor. And again, their artwork is crazy. Like James Brown, he doesn't he doesn't hold back with the artwork. So
and they do the last rites as well, right?
They do the last rites, Killer Bee, the Green Hornet, Deliverance. I mean, we can keep going, you know?
Yeah.
Great line.
Dope line, definitely.
If you guys never had it, you should definitely come down to Smoke and Ashes, 200 War Waving Drive, Teaneck, New Jersey.
07666.
And we will make sure we will serve you any one of these that your heart delights.
Yeah, definitely. Malachi, what you got, brother?
So I also went back a little. These were some black-owned company who supported us from the beginning. This is Emperor's Cut. So if anybody's familiar with Emperor's Cut, group of brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Based out of Houston, Texas.
Shout out Temmie.
Yeah.
Temmie, Greg, what's going on? Darnell. Yo, those they got energy, man. When you meet these folks, if you've ever been around Temmie or Darnell, man, they just good folk, man. They come around, they just bring energy to your lounge. Besides having a great product, they're good people all in all. But this is their jazz series. So this is their newest line that came out. They had their original line was Nicaraguan.
Yeah, it was Nicaraguan.
So this one has some Dominican filler in it. So this is sun-grown Sumatra wrapper, and it has some Peruvian, Nicaraguan, and Dominican filler. Fortunately, this is my first time smoking this. We just got this recently, so I'm not familiar with it yet so far. Definitely a good smoke. Creamy, say about medium strength, medium body. Their original Nicaraguan line was definitely good. It's actually one of my favorites.
Yeah, that was on point.
Really good. They're definitely on point. But shout out to Emperor's Cut, man. Again, black-owned company. We love supporting them. On top of just having a good product, they're good people. Out
of Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
Out of Houston, Texas.
It usually helps when they have a good product.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it just makes it that, you know.
H-Town stand up.
Tell me what's good.
That much easier.
Yeah, definitely. So
what you got over there?
We've had this in the humidor, I think almost since we opened this place up. And it hit me today as I was walking through. I'm like, you know what? As many times as I've recommended this to somebody that like looked at it and was like, oh, you know, what is this? This looks so intricate with the leaf over it and everything. Because I know they have good tobacco and because I know I've smoked their other faces, you know, the Cicerone, I've smoked the Superfly, you know, I realized I had never smoked the leaf. Like this whole time.
Connecticut or the Maduro?
Either one.
Wow.
So this is actually my first time smoking.
Which one did you go with, the Maduro or the
Maduro?
That looks like it.
Yeah. So I have the leaf by Oscar. Vallardez, yes. So far so good. Generally speaking, I usually don't do a gauge this big, but I figured, you know what? Like I said, it's been in the humidor for this long. So it's a Nicaraguan wrapper, Honduran filler, Honduran binder, I believe. It's supposed to have like a honey-like sweetness with notes of chocolate and black pepper. So the one thing about gauges this big, and if I had to guess, I would say this is probably like a 56.
I think it's a 60.
It's a 60?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be 60.
Yeah, okay. So, you know, the funny thing, I was going to say 58 too, but 60. Okay, so I usually don't like gauges this big.
Same here, man.
Because the
you can't
flavor,
really, you can't really get the punch of it.
Yeah.
Like if that was in a Toro or a Robusto size.
Exactly.
You know, Corona Grande.
Exactly.
You could really taste the blend behind that.
Exactly. Now, it's supposed to go good with, or go well, I should say, with bourbon. So, which leads me to what we're drinking today. I'm going to let Malachi tell you about it, but throughout the show, I'm going to circle back and let y'all know how the Oscar 60 leaf is handled.
Okay. So we have today Greenwood Whiskey. Again, another black-owned company. They are based out of Georgia. Greenwood Whiskey, if Greenwood sounds familiar, this was inspired by Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Greenwood community.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
that's where it was inspired. This is a rye, so 5% rye. I'm sorry, 51% rye. It's bottled in Florida, but it's aged in Indiana. They age it in American oak. And again, it's owned by four brothers. Don't have all their names, but four brothers. They're based out of Georgia. One of them is actually related to a good friend of Ryan and ours.
What up, Nia?
Shania,
What's going on?
bro?
Chef Nia, Chef
So,
Nia.
Thank
so, like, and it's not even a joke. I'm straight up asking.
Yeah.
When you say four brothers, you mean four brothers or four like brothers?
No, four men of color.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm like, this is like the Jackson 5, where there was four of them. Like, and then they all just happened to be like, yo, we into whiskey. Let's do this as a fam. All right, just double checking.
So, obviously we all tasted so far, and definitely has that good whiskey.
It definitely had a rye feel to it. I wasn't surprised to hear you break that down because I didn't read any of the makeup of it.
I didn't either.
American oak, it's aged
All I
American
saw
oak.
was whiskey, and I know we've been drinking so much bourbon, scotch, and rye that I haven't had just like a regular American whiskey in forever. And to be honest, I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go.
Yeah.
And I started sipping it, and we were taking notes before the show started, and I forgot that it wasn't a rye or a bourbon.
Yeah.
As I'm sipping it, I was like, and it hit me like, oh shit, yo, this is actually on point.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is. You could taste it too.
Yeah, definitely quality. Definitely quality.
So shout out to Greenwood, and again, always supporting black-owned businesses.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, quality black-owned businesses.
Well, it's a statement we made before.
Yeah. We had talked about that on the last show. Like,
We got to hold each other to a higher standard.
exactly, because if we're not, then we have a bunch of businesses out here that have no business being in business.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So it's like we have to have a certain standard in terms. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, a lot of us coming up are like the first generation entrepreneurs. So it's, trial by error. But at the same time, it's not an excuse to go half-ass it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
just put out any product.
Exactly.
You got to go all in.
Do your research. Do your market research. Come with a quality product or a quality service, whatever that is. As a matter of fact, do it doubly well because some people in this country will expect you to fail.
Correct.
So come with the quality. Come with the quality.
And that's why it's so important for us, though, to make sure that we push each other so that we can hit those higher standards. You know what I mean? Instead of taking it personally, see it as, somebody just wanting to see you
do better,
the best in you.
Because if you do good and we do good, we all do good.
Correct.
And that's what this black excellence thing is all about.
Facts.
Now, the opposite of black excellence. Let's get into our first topic. Thoughts and jump offs. So before we get into like talking about the actual subject, for those that don't know, what a thought is, another acronym.
That hole over there.
Yeah, pretty much. THOT, thought, that hole over there. Now, just so we're clear, thoughts and jump offs don't always have to be women. I'm gonna be very clear about that.
Yeah,
Because
that's fair.
some of you dudes out there, and y'all are jump offs and don't know your jump offs.
Straight Thotimus Prime.
Yep.
Straight Thotty Pippin.
Yeah.
Like, y'all just don't even know y'all are. Like, y'all think like she's into you for real. Meanwhile, she's just trying to get over her ex. And you're the jump off for that particular point in time in her life.
Correct.
So this is not a sexist thing because thoughts and jump offs can be either sex. Either or.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our experiences with thoughts and jump offs. Malachi, would you like to begin?
Everybody's looking at each other like, who's gonna start? So listen, I'll just start off. I'm a married man, 2 kids. Before I got married, I was a goddamn thought. I'm just gonna be honest. I was a thought. Just gonna put it out there. So, I'll speak about myself first. So yeah, again. Now, this is a question. Thoughts and jump offs. To me, those are 2 different things.
Yeah, I mean, that's what that's all about, though.
All
Like,
right,
I just want to get your take on that.
So,
Yeah.
a thought would basically, I don't want to say just screw anything, but a thought just doesn't think about it. It's just like if it's
So she'll pretty much, or the thought. Because like you said, it's an ambiguous term.
Yes, it can be male or female. But yeah, thought basically is just like,
They'll screw anything.
oh, you're there, you're ready, but let's do it.
Yeah, I think it'll screw anything.
A jump off, I kind of equate with more of like a free spirit where it's just like if we digging each other and it's just like, oh, we feel each other. I like you, let's have sex. boom, jump off. Let's just get it done one time. So I kind of put myself in both of those. Now I'm thinking about it.
He's like, you know what?
Yeah, I think I was both. I was definitely both. But listen, I mean, it was just how, I was an athlete coming up. I really never had time for long-term relationships. To be honest, I never was with the same woman for more than 6 months before I met my wife. I just didn't believe. I won't say I didn't believe in relationships. I just didn't have the energy and time for it. So it was about jump offs. If I could find a young lady and we feeling each other, hey, you feeling each other? All right, boom, let's get it on. Let's get it popping.
Something you just said there. You was an athlete.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, and that's a whole nother episode. We can get into the psychology of that. But athletes and musicians, thought and jump off central.
Yes, what's sitting at this table. At least a past tense of some of our travels in life.
Yeah, definitely.
Take us right down that music and musician and athlete realm. I mean, look.
But I was gonna say, unlike a lot of other people, I don't. Now I'm speaking about females. I talked about myself and as a man. I never judge a woman if I thought she was a thought or a jump off. It's just like, that's you. You know how like some dudes just
look down at them.
Yeah, look down on her. Oh, she's a fucking thought. Blah, blah. Nah, dude, that's you. You live in your life.
Everybody has a purpose.
Exactly. That's what you do.
Seriously,
that's what you like. You
everyone has a purpose.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But here's the thing, though. Like most dudes that do that, though, like
they don't want to get no buns anyway. It's just real talk, bro.
It's that, and they don't like Malachi was very upfront about the fact that he was a reformed thought.
Yes.
But most dudes, not most,
went through recovery.
The dudes that 12-step program.
12-step program for real.
Who was step 12?
He got his pins to show too.
Yeah. You got a chip? So no, but seriously though.
He had a chip.
Most dudes that look down on quote unquote thoughts or jump offs are the same dudes out there sticking their dick in anything.
Exactly.
And it's like, well, it's okay for me, but it's like, well, then motherfucker, you a thought too.
Exactly.
Like the very thing you're saying that you hate, like you're that very thing.
But most people tend to do that. They tend to try their whole transgressions. They try to hide their transgression within somebody else. So they'll know internally that they're a thought or a jump off, but they want to make sure that the attention goes on another individual.
Deflecting.
Yes, it's a deflecting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, listen, thoughts, jump offs, there's a lot of levels even to those terms. You know what I mean? Like,
speak on it.
There's like level one thought that's like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's the one that, I don't kind of do this. I don't normally do things like this, and then it's like one night standish, that's like level one. You have level two is like the one that you see once in a while, throws it around. I wouldn't consider those jump offs, because jump offs you have a little bit more of a type of a communication with. It's not too deep.
Like I say, you vibe with them.
You vibe with them. That's what takes them to like another step. But then you have that other layer of thought or thoughtism. You meet the Thotimus Maximus, of thoughtitude. There's that one there that just does everything, anything, anyhow with anyone. And it doesn't matter. Yeah. And like you say, it's ambiguous, so it's male or female. That's been something that's gone through for a long time.
Because best believe, like the dudes that I've grown up with, I've heard conversations where it's like, yo, really? It's like, yeah, man, well, I mean, she was there, she was down. And it's like, okay, I know she was. The question is, why were you? She had 4 teeth in her mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
Like it's just funny to me. Like you know what's really crazy to me? When you look back at hip hop, like mid '90s, early to mid '90s West Coast rap. Like we talking about like.
So you're talking about gin and juice era and shit.
Like yeah. So like I don't know if y'all ever peeped this before, but the West Coast for whatever reason was just on some like crazy, fuck a whole type, like, but to a crazy level though.
They want a whole nother,
almost to the point where you're like, do y'all even like women? Like, what is wrong with y'all?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Those Chronic albums and Snoop albums.
Yeah.
It was just like, damn, yo.
It's like, yo,
You know what it is though?
what's up?
Coming from the musician side of things, you see it more frequent, especially if you're a popular musician at that, and that can be also on a couple of levels. I mean, like, I don't even mean like the Jays of the world. I mean, you could just be an actual entry level artist that's just getting sunburn. You just got a basic deal. You ain't really got a single out, but you know what? You got nowadays. With these guys have Instagram. Once you have one of these pages or these YouTube, forget it. You're a star automatically. But back in the day with the artists, man, like the chicks would just come in and out. It was like a turnstile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like after a while, you lose a general respect just for women.
Yeah,
because
I can see that.
what you see is this consistent rotation of
You mean hotation?
correct. And that there already starts diminishing
Your outlook on a woman.
Yeah,
just changes.
we had a friend of ours that his mind frame was totally misconstrued with women.
Yeah.
Because of the same situation though. He had gone through numerous encounters.
Yeah.
I mean numerous.
Yeah.
And he's up there, His
Fucking with Wilt?
His assassination body count is crazy.
He was chasing Wilt?
Yeah, I think he was up there. You know what I mean? But he lost his, touch. You lose a part of yourself when you live that type of lifestyle.
Listen, some of the stories I've heard just in the music industry, like people on tours and just on the road, you be like, wait, she did what? She put what in her mouth? Like what? Like,
So here's the thing, though.
I've seen some crazy shit.
To flip it, and we'll get into this in the last call when we talk about the strippers. If you talk to them about dudes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it kind of goes both ways. But the problem is that I think you're seeing the worst of that particular gender.
yeah.
If you're in that limelight on whatever level, whether you're the athlete, the musician, the stripper, like you're seeing the other gender at its worst, and then it's like, oh, well then they all are. And it's like, well, time out, slow down. Like, remember before you got in that, like you dealt with, people who weren't that. You know what I'm saying? But to speak from a personal level, Malachi, just like you, like I, as a matter of fact, I remember distinctly, because I never heard this term before. I was friends with and you know the friend. You've met her before at the one of my holiday parties. No names right now, but she was from Cali, Bay Area,
I know you're talking.
and she was like, Conway, you're mad cool. You're a little bit of a hoe bag, but you're mad cool. And I was like, I'm a hoe what?
I'm a what? Say that again? Come again?
She said I'm a hoe bag, and I was like, what does that even mean? And she just was like, you just kind of, you out there enjoying yourself. And look, at the end of the day, and I've said this to many people, man. So I went to Howard University, and when I got down there,
I thought it was Foward University.
yeah,
Conrad.
yeah, that one.
It's Foward,
Yeah.
Foward.
The female to male ratio was 15-1.
Jesus.
So was I a hoe bag?
Or were you capitalizing off of
No, I was a hoe bag.
free enterprise? I was gonna say it was free enterprise. It was free enterprise. You
No,
were wrong.
I was wilding out. I definitely was wilding out.
But here's the deal. Look,
Yeah.
just to touch on, to stay on that. Listen, I'm not even gonna talk about it in a negative way. Cause I'm gonna tell you what too. Some people realize and they gravitate to the idea that they are going to only be in their current state and form where they feel the best in their life for a short period of time. And they decide to want to live their life how they want to live their life.
Yeah. And who you to tell them that
And
they
who
can't
the fuck
live
are you to
good?
tell them that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's they dick, it's they whatever. Like, so
Yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of
it's
the
like
day.
what Jay said, what you eat don't make me shit.
Exactly. So, I mean, like I think you said like before, Malachi. You had mentioned before that it's yeah, you threw me off for the naming. I had to really think about that.
I don't know who that other guy is.
My bad, man. I don't even know where that came from.
I don't know who that other
But
guy
you
is.
had just mentioned though, you don't look down on them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that's-
like,
that's
and I think
right.
that comes with age and or experience.
Yeah.
Like you have to learn
Yeah.
how to take people in for what they are and who they are.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't make you a bad person if you're a jump off or a thought. You know what I mean? It really doesn't. And I think anyone that has something to say, like you had mentioned before, we were talking about how people can make comments but not reflect back to themselves.
Yeah.
cast the first stone on your own glass house before you start making these comments.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I just speaking about that, not judging. I remember, you probably remember this story back in high school. There was this girl who, what's the word? She was for the, how they say now, like she's part of the streets. She's part of the streets. She was part of our school. Like whoever wanted her, like that's what happened.
Oh, and Parkchester?
Yeah. And I used to feel sorry for her, dude. I'm just like, wow, like obviously something was going on in her life at that time.
That's a little different because you're in high school. You're still kind of developing.
Yeah, I guess she was trying to find herself, but I was like,
the level of that story goes a little deeper.
Like it was like one time I went to my boy's crib and she just happened to be there. It was like 8 dudes in there, and like dudes were like literally
switch
like online. Like dude was out, he was sitting up eating cereal. Like, yo, you want to be next? I'm like, nah, dude, I got a game today. I'm good. I just came to see what y'all doing.
I need my legs.
That's exactly what I said.
I need my legs.
I said, I need my legs.
I need my fucking legs.
I'm good. Y'all just come to see what y'all doing, but. And then I would see her over and over again. She'd just be standing outside the school waiting for dudes. Like, get mine, we went to all boys school. So she's sitting there like.
It's a breath of fresh air when you see that outside waiting.
It was just like.
Coming out of prison, because that's what fucking that school was.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. I'm just, so like, as we sit here talking, I'm like, I wonder where that girl is right now in her life. Maybe she was just going through a little, man.
Stage I mean, listen, you can't judge anybody by it.
You know what I mean? But damn.
Especially in high school.
Yeah, like you say.
Everybody's just kind of figuring out who they are.
And you don't know what traumas though that they were.
I think she was definitely.
You don't know what people have been like exposed to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that don't have a, because like, look, real talk. My personal exposures at a young age definitely fucked me up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You understand? I was a savage by 12.
Yeah.
And that was just because of everything I was exposed to with no internet.
But it's environment. Like I remember.
Yo, but no internet.
Yeah, no.
Straight Tracy Lord videos.
Yeah, Skinamax. So, like I remember going on.
Shout out to WHT.
I remember being on Fordham Road and like just walking with my boys or whatever, and then we would just like bet to see who can get the most numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like
that used to be a thing. Like who's gonna get the most? Yeah,
yeah. It was like a sport.
Hunting. Yeah.
But that's the thing though. Like your environment impacts you in terms of the way you see the whole interaction with whoever you're into dating.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Like it shapes the whole thing. Like I look back on it sometimes and I'm like, damn, y'all was just like, man, just like up front and like almost to a point where like reckless. Like I didn't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you see Shorty on the bus, you see Shorty on the train, you see Shorty
savage.
Like,
it's straight savage season.
And that affects you as like we were talking about as you get older. Like I know definitely for me, like I said, I had never really been in a relationship. So the first like 3 years of my marriage, it was fucking rough. And it was easy to blame the female, but it was like I had issues. I came into the relationship, to the marriage with issues that you have to get over. So like there's so many things that you go through at a young age, especially like you said, starting young. I started young also, and you get older and then you start realizing like, you know what? You have to get rid of that baggage before you come into a relationship. We'll get into that later when we talk about, who's the one and wifey. But I'm just talking about how as you get older, those experiences at a young age, it affects you when you get older.
No, it definitely does.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know if
you carry that over with you, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, without a doubt. Listen, I know for me personally speaking, my interactions were with an older woman when I was very young. So when I was 12, I was interacting with a 19-year-old.
See, now, my first reaction to that was to say, nice.
Yeah, but then the legal side of you is like, damn.
And I was like, that's technically rape.
It really was, though. But the problem with that,
technically, it's legally rape.
So the problem with that is that I took that experience of that older woman with me with every other relationship that I had with other 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, and they weren't up to par because you ain't doing the shit.
You're not doing what she did.
She was doing. And actually, that's how I ended up turning out anybody that was from my youth. Because I'm over here now, I'm teaching them what they should be doing was what the 19-year-old did.
You was a grizzled veteran at 13 years old.
Vet, bro. Scars and everything.
They already was scheduling to hang your jersey up in the rafters. No, but seriously though, so the whole, because Malachi had made a point, the distinction between thots and jump-offs. And I didn't really like give my definition.
Yeah, sum it up. Sum it up before we wrap up.
So I think the jump off is basically the understanding that, look, this is purely physical. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can call somebody a jump off, which is really saying thought. But if it's mutually understood it's more of a jump off situation. You know, so like with dudes would be like, oh, she's a jump off. That just means like she's a thought. Like you can just have a good time with her and like not. Then she might think it's something else more, but you know, like she's just like the throwaway or whatever. But don't get it twisted. These women out here, stone cold pimps.
Nowadays, yeah, man.
Yo, they are, man.
They
are.
They have their own quotation.
It's starting 5.
Exactly.
That's how I used to say it now. I heard a female the other day say, I got to start in 5. What?
Exactly.
I heard a strong 3. I didn't hear a start 5 the other day. I heard someone.
She had 5. She said she had a strong 3.
Okay, yeah. She had the key 3, like the Brooklyn Nets.
There you go. So we gotta leave this particular topic and go to the other end of the spectrum to our notable mention segment, the esteemed Miss Shirley Chisholm, who we're gonna be talking about in our notable mention segment coming up.
It's the SNA Live Podcast, and it's time for the notable mention.
So for this episode number 4, Bae-Watch, our notable mention segment, we are talking about the esteemed former, well now passed away, but former Congresswoman, Miss Shirley Chisholm. Now, or I should say Brooklyn's own.
Brooklyn, stand up.
So I did a little, research, further research on Miss Chisholm, because I knew a little about her, but a couple things that I, in doing and reading up on her that I did not know that made me personally extremely proud, and I'll get to that in 1 second. But for those that don't know, Shirley Chisholm was the first black woman elected to Congress, United States Congress, in 1968. She was out of New York. She was a Delta, so I didn't know she was Greek.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Really?
But I'm about to fuck y'all heads up though. She was Bayesian.
No.
Family was from Barbados.
I know that. Oh man. Okay.
And I thought I knew all like the famous Bayesians.
You
like
still learn. You still can
like
learn every day, man.
obviously Rihanna.
The more notable ones, yeah.
Yeah, people don't know Dougie Fresh was born in Barbados.
Really? I didn't know that either. I did not know that.
His people are Jamaican, but he was born in Barbados.
Nice.
Then there was that song, what was the name of that? It was a one-hit wonder. The dude was from Barbados, though. It'll come to me later on. But Miss Chisholm. So, considering the time it was, so from the election from 2016, I think it was very, very clear that this country has a problem with women, just in terms of the way they dealt with the whole Hillary Clinton situation. And that's in 2016. Imagine now being not just a woman, but a black woman in 1968. The Civil Rights Movement had the Civil Rights Act, had just pretty much been enacted. And the confidence, the fortitude, the stick-to-itiveness, the courage to go out there, because she wasn't a quiet woman, and you can't be if you're running for public office.
Especially during that time frame.
Yeah, you can't be some
You're not gonna get heard.
Yeah, exactly. But
they don't want to hear you anyway because you're a woman, and that you're a woman of color. You're a black woman, rather.
Exactly. So I'm sure from both sides, black and white, they probably were talking about, okay, little lady, this is cool, this is nice, sit down. You don't need to, whatever. But she rose through the ranks. Like, she started off, I want to say, back in Bed-Stuy as the director of a homeless shelter or something to that effect. And just was always about helping people, public service. And to go from that to the United States Congress as the first black woman ever is
That's
insane.
a huge accolade. Huge.
Especially during that time, yeah.
Exactly. Because when you think about it, Malcolm got assassinated in 1965. Martin got assassinated in 1968.
Yeah.
Marcus Garvey got deported. People, what's his name, got assassinated as well. Medgar Evers.
Oh, yeah, man. All during that time frame.
Yeah, so
to have that mouthpiece during that time, it takes a.
So
and being a woman, a black woman at that.
So that our slogan at the end of our show, I always say in the words of Shirley Chisholm, if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. Like, that was her mentality. That's why when we were thinking about how we're gonna end the show, when I found and came across that quote, I said to myself, oh, that embodies exactly who we are. Meaning, we don't take no for an answer. We don't care what the obstacles are. Now, granted, it's 2021 right now. The obstacles we're facing are nowhere near what they faced in the 60s.
No.
But the women and the men in the 60s, what they were facing was nowhere near what they were facing in the 1800s. So
Correct.
you always got to take it for, what time period you're at. But best believe there's still obstacles that we as young black men still have to face in business and in life, just in general. But without Shirley Chisholm, there is no Maxine Waters. There is no Ilhan Omar. There is no Madam Vice President Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
So for those that want to learn a little bit more about her, definitely do your research. But our notable mention segment is for the esteemed U.S. Congresswoman, Ms. Shirley Chisholm.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, definitely.
And I will make a quick comment.
Yeah.
When you had first brought that idea, the concept, how all of us, when we were talking about looking for this
Quote to end
the show.
Yeah.
If I'm mistaken, let me know. But I thought it was unanimous off the jump.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Like once you said it, it was like, oh, that is it.
Yeah.
There's no question, no if and what's or anything.
But that's the thing though, like, so it was about probably like the 6th or 7th quote that I'd found. And I can't remember what the other quote was, but I was like, okay, we can probably go with that. But let me just keep looking.
Keep going, yeah.
And because the other quote that I found, it would have worked, but it didn't speak to me the way that one did. And when I came across that one, I stopped looking because I'm like, there's no reason to look anymore. That's what embodies everything that we're about, everything that we're doing.
Facts.
So yeah, it was just so on point. And Shirley Chisholm was a queen, and that is our next topic, wifey / queen.
So real quick, before we jump into that, just to give me about 20 seconds each so we can round off a solid minute.
Yeah, go for it.
Let me know where you're at with your cigar. So right now, like I told you guys, I was smoking a Salvation 6x60 from Black Label Trading. This cigar is definitely opened up. It's a medium to full body. It's definitely got some intense spice on the first third, and then it dwindles down. But then you get some notes of like some smoked wood, so very earthy, So I'm definitely enjoying it, and I'm looking to see what goes on next. How about you, Malachi?
So this is definitely a medium. It hasn't changed. It's still around a medium.
And you're smoking the Emperor's Cut,
Emperor's
right?
Cut.
The Jazz series?
Emperor's Cut Jazz series. Definitely that Dominican spice. I'm feeling. It's not overbearing. Like when I retrohale, it's not burning my nose. I mean, it's a good spice. Also has a little woody flavors in there also. It's going well with this ride, definitely. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm
Good.
definitely good. I don't know if it's better than their other line, the Nicaraguan. Obviously, I'm a Nicaraguan guy, but it's good. It's definitely going
That's good, man. And Conrad?
I don't ever like to shit on anybody's product.
Okay.
Hey, you got to be honest, though.
be honest.
But I'm going to be honest, I am really disappointed with this. The presentation with the whole leaf thing, it's a cool concept. The company has good tobacco. And it's not even the fact, so because I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, maybe it's the fact that it's a larger gauge. But then I go back to the Superfly Maduro. That shit is fire.
Yeah.
Like all the way through.
Yeah, it's
on your first
it's
couple
the
of
blend,
pulls.
man.
So I'm just like, oh man, this is like almost to the point I'm about to do a Malik, not Malachi, but Malik, and just like throw this down and want to walk off the show and go to the humidor and get another stick.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, everybody has their own palate, but you're not enjoying it.
Not like,
I'm glad that you have the honesty.
Because I like a flavorful cigar. I like, and not a flavored cigar for those who...
flavor. It's total different.
Total difference. I had to explain that to a customer the other day in the humidor. But it's
Might be the Honduran tobacco.
I was about to say
bland.
that, but then it just counters everything he said about enjoying the Superfly.
Yeah.
Because that's a Honduran puro as well.
yeah.
Exactly.
So I mean, you know what? Every stick is just not for everybody. Man.
Yeah, you're right. Now, I've had people come back and tell me that they thoroughly enjoyed it.
That's actually one of our top
love
sellers.
that.
That's one of our top
People
sellers.
love that
They
one.
love
Yeah.
that damn cigar.
But I'll tell you, I know why too. I don't think it is flavorful enough for you. And most of the novice smokers, while they're learning their palates, that's a great cigar for them to stay right down the line with.
Yes. Yeah, I will say that. if you're just entering into the Maduro phase of cigars,
That's a good one to
It's
go.
an entry point.
it is a
for
good entry point. It
Yeah.
definitely is.
So talking about entry points. Moving into wifey and queen. Okay, so what are your thoughts on this topic of wifey queen? Which route are we going at this?
So here's the thing. Just full disclosure, we're all married. I'm the most recently married. Brian is the grizzled veteran, and Malachi's a vet now too.
Yeah.
I'm only
past 10 years. I'm a vet now.
damn, it's been shit
13.
Wait,
Yeah.
yo, time is flying, man.
Yeah, man.
And then just for the record, I'm closing in on I'm on 19 right now.
Yeah, we coming up on the 2-decade joint.
Yeah.
I am a cool 6 months in.
Oh, those times.
Those times. Oh, those are great times.
But here's the thing, though.
I love you, babe. I love you too.
No, but here's the thing,
Have a
though.
great day.
11 years. All right, I'm out of here. See you later. All right.
It's murder time.
No,
No.
but seriously though, we've been together 6 years though.
Yeah. No,
So it's not as if like we dated for like 6-7 months and I was like we should get married.
They eloped and they got
Yeah,
married the next day.
Like I'm about to be 42 years old and I'm like I'm not gonna rush into. Holy shit, am I about to be 43?
Yeah, you are.
You are.
Yeah, you are.
2021.
Welcome to 2021.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Just turned 42.
So wifey and the queen. I mean, listen.
Yeah, look.
Go ahead, Conrad.
No. So I'm just gonna just say this. I will say this, like in terms of the whole wifey queen thing. It is definitely different. Cause I was just thinking back on all my significant others throughout the years when I was like, oh man, this person is just that person.
This is the
you know
one.
what I'm saying? And it just made me realize how you refine your taste in women over the years, and I told my wife straight up, I was like, if you would have met me at 30 years old, you would have had a blast. You would have hated me at the end of
Absolutely.
it.
We wouldn't be where we are right now.
Yeah, because I just appreciated different things in women in my teens, 20s, and early 30s. So like the whole concept of wifey and queen, it's not stagnant. Like it evolves over time. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, no, it definitely does.
Because I think you start to realize who you are, and then what you can tolerate, what you can, like your ability to be compatible with the other person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
Definitely. I got you.
Wholeheartedly. I mean, listen, honestly, for me, I will say this. I think you had mentioned before, thinking back on your quote unquote significant others throughout your life timeline.
Yeah.
For most people, I think, and I think this goes both sides, both for male and female. It's tough to lock into somebody that you can't grow with. They might be everything at that moment,
point, yeah.
but can you grow with this person? Are you still growing? Is that person staying where they are? Is that a problem with your growth, or vice versa? You know what I mean? So a lot of things come into fruition when you come trying to figure out the difference between wifey, the queen, whatever you want to put the tag on.
Yeah.
But I think it's extremely difficult, especially during this weird phase of finding the wifey queen, because of that growth. Now, depending when you find this one, your age bracket, where you are in life, that'll help you decipher it a lot quicker. But if you got married young, like I got married young, you definitely learn how quick shit changes from what you thought something was, and then now you have to continue this growth.
Yo, and just shout out to you, man, because I've known dudes that got married either at your age or fresh out of college. I saw somebody propose at the fucking prom.
We did. We had that in high school too.
Oh yeah, we did. That's right.
And
A couple.
2 or 3 dudes. Yeah.
none of them And I mean, none of them survived into their 30s, like let alone getting out of their 20s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, without a doubt, man.
So it's like, like salute to you, because like I agree. Like
not perfect. You know what I mean? Far from it.
But see, that's the thing though, man. Like there's no
such thing as that.
It doesn't
it's just
work.
about learning, growing, admitting what's wrong, admitting what's right, figuring out how to correct it, and moving forward. You know, if you're stuck in your ways and you don't have a bone in your body that wants growth, then you're not going to be able to accept things, and you won't change. And it goes for your partner as well too. You know what I mean? So I just think for me, just when it comes to the topic of wifey and queen, the thing that separates that for me is just, if you're in the process of being with somebody for such a long time and you feel that this is the one, the main thing that you really have to ask yourself, or the question you have to ask, is this: do you see yourself with this person 5, 6, 7 years from now? Especially if you feel that you're at a crossroad yourself and you're growing.
Yeah.
Because if you're growing, understand that individual you grow to be is going to be a different person that's going to read this individual with different eyes.
Yep. And don't get it twisted. There doesn't have to be that wifey, queen, or hubby, king for you. You can just be like, you know what? I'm more of a free spirit. I'm just going to live life and have just as many experiences as I possibly can. Because believe it or not, life is short. Like
again, it was going back to, we had talked about that earlier, man. Like some people just live that because
it flies by.
Their life is their life.
And it's like, you know what? I can't see myself being tied down to one person. There are 6 billion people in the world. And if you are straight, quote unquote, then there's 3 billion out there for you. And if you're bi, then there's another 3 billion out there.
If you fill the whole alphabet on that side, it's the whole 7 for you.
So,
like that.
So it's like, you know, it doesn't have to be, but we're just talking about it from the experience of 3 married men.
I mean,
Malachi, you've been a little.
I just want to say, just give some advice to, like, anytime I have a couple of single friends who always come to me for advice, and the one thing I always say is, and I think this happens just in this world we're in, everything's so materialistic and it's all about looks and everything. Throw that out the window. Like, if you're sitting around waiting for this most beautiful woman, this beautiful man who has it all, like, that's not what it's about when you're looking for your king and your queen.
Yeah, and beautiful is, you know, that word should go deeper than just superficial.
Exactly.
It shouldn't just be look.
It's not all about looks.
But if we're gonna talk about look, yo, I'm sorry. If you look like Harvey Weinstein and you're like, yo, I'm waiting for my Sanaa Lathan, I'm waiting for my Zoe Kravitz. Like, yo,
unless you're gonna do Harvey Weinstein shit, that shit ain't coming.
Like, look in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, cause some dudes just be like, yo, I'm waiting for that Nia Long. I'm waiting for that.
You're gonna be single for a long time.
But the problem is, you end up passing by a handful of people that would have been great for you in your life.
As I say, you miss your blessings, man. You miss some of your blessings.
Real talk.
I mean, so for me, I can speak for me personally. Besides just the advice. When I got married, I wasn't like, you were just saying something about, I never thought about marriage. I was with the mind frame, I'm having sex with any woman as I can. I'm just gonna have fun, and that's gonna be my life. If I get married, hey, what happens? So at the time, I wasn't even thinking about getting in a relationship. Like I said, I had never been in a relationship. I wasn't used to it. But me specifically, it was about meeting someone who was gonna make me better. Because at the time in my life, I was a thot. I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing. It was a point where
you was a thot and you like doing thot shit.
with my friends.
Was it Lotharian?
Yeah, Lotharian.
I want to do hood rat shit with my friends.
So look, you should be looking for that person that makes you want to be better. And at the time, I didn't know that's what I was looking for. But when I met my wife, that's what it was. I was in a dark place. I wasn't doing anything with my. I won't say I was doing anything with my life. I was actually in the process of changing, and then she came in my life. So look for that person that makes you want to be a better person. And I think that's what a queen is. That's what a king is. It's the same thing for a woman. Find a man who makes you want to be better, who makes you feel beautiful, not just physically but inside. You know what I mean? Like that's what a king and queen to me is.
And accentuates your positive qualities. Because best believe there are people that accentuate your negative qualities, but those negative qualities just might be fun. So you're like, oh, this person's a blast. Like, I have a great time with them. Like, yeah, you do.
And that's all you got, though.
But your fun times is drinking, smoking, and fucking. And you're like, yo, I'm having a ball. Like, this person is the best. And it's like, yeah, okay, but are you progressing in life?
Yeah.
And if the answer is no, then yeah, you're having a good time, which is cool. But that's gonna run its course.
And that's what it is, though. It's just a good time.
So I want to give a shout out to Dr. Keenan Davis. He had a quote today on One Institution. So anybody who's out there going One Institution, Facebook, that brother along with everybody else, they put out some good information. But he said
Keenan,
something.
what up?
He said something today. He said, all of us have baggage. Life is about finding the person who will help you unpack. I was like, wow, that's deep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
that is deep.
That's deep. And that's kind of going to the point where I was just saying, find that person that's going to take all your faults and your negativity and your things that you feel going wrong with you, and they make you feel better. They uplift you.
So touching on that the statement I opened up this segment with was it should lock in step with that, because again, sometimes that person might fix your current situation. But if you don't really put the time and the thought process into your long-term growth as an individual,
Facts.
that person still might not, live up to those standards.
Facts, yeah.
And I mean standards on both sides.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
mean it for yours or, it's because when you get married, it's a team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
team
know what I
effort.
mean? So you definitely
Well, at
need-
least it should be.
It should be. It's not always that way.
And sacrifice. That's the big
The truth is, though, that you really do have to find someone that's going to help you grow and grow with you. Some people just know how to fix momentary lapses in your life, but they don't know how to develop with the rest of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So again, there's no right or wrong answer to this. It's a trial and error, and you have to sometimes go out on a wing and a prayer.
Yeah, you do. But here's the thing, though. Like, I'm just remembering, like, late teens, early 20s, and the mindset, especially for men. We mature slower than women. Yo, so warped. Like, all right, I'm gonna put it out there. Do y'all remember statements being said by people in your circle or yourself that you was like, yeah, nah, man, I'm not even eating pussy unless she's my girl. Or at least she's the wife.
I can't.
Liar.
Yeah,
Like, but do you remember hearing that?
Oh
though?
yeah, definitely.
yeah. So I can't. Like when I used to even hear that,
Yeah.
I used to just look at dudes like, guy, stop, because you're the first one that's not just eating pussy, you're eating ass too.
Like,
After she just came out of fucking yoga class, like stop. And then you're out here telling us, I don't do that stuff. Okay, brother.
but it's like I said though, it's the mentality of the youth in terms of
Ute. What is that, sir?
the youth them. So like, in terms of just the interaction with that person that's supposed to be that true significant other, and it just shows that where the mindset is of, because like, look, the reality of it is, like, Brian, you have a daughter who is
18, yeah.
right? So I think back to myself when I was 18. First of all, I mean, you have an 18-year-old living with you, right? It's your daughter. I walk around sometimes and I see teenagers or even college kids sometimes, and I'm like, yo, they're kids, like legit children.
Yeah, we weren't like that when we were young. And like, for
But
instance,
that's the thing. Were we? Or were we just,
no.
Not the way these kids are.
No. We were way more developed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And like, I had this conversation multiple times when I would sit up in the house and even talk with the wife and be like, yo, you know what? We're lucky, because these kids, because not even just my 18-year-old, my 15-year-old and my soon-to-be 13-year-old, I'm sitting there saying, what I was doing at all three of those ages, holy shit. Holy shit. They're now, don't get it twisted. There's some kids out there running amok.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, for the most part, and remember, I do a lot of mentorship too. So I talk to a lot of different kids. There are some that are doing shit. You know what I mean? You can see their lifestyles, reminiscent that of us in the 90s. I laugh when I hear some of the stories.
Yeah.
But for the most part, bro, to answer your question, nah, man, like they've slowed down a little bit. Now, maybe COVID has played a part in that this last, you know what I mean? Because you got to think about
Yeah, but
that too.
that's relatively new.
But it is, though. But if you're talking about a 16-year-old to 18-year-old, COVID is very crucial to their social landscape right now.
Development.
You know what I mean? And even for instance, like my daughter can't even have a prom this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they took,
that sucks.
and she's not, so like all that shit. Now, granted, my daughter was like me. She was a pimp in high school. She went to multiple proms prior to her going to hers. And that's one thing she told me she was going to do. She was like,
Did you just say, now, keep in mind, my daughter, like me, something like a pimp.
Yeah, I definitely did. But she's worse though. My daughter's a savage. I'll make that known. Like her heart, oh my God.
Cold
So
as
cold,
ice.
so cold, so cold. Yo, so at the end of the day though, again, like these kids though, they lost some type of social interaction during this period.
Yeah.
And think about dating right now as like a 16-year-old with COVID. Like think about how this fucked up shit.
Yeah. There is
It really messed up everything for these kids. So I mean, I don't know. But no, to answer your question, they do not, for the most part, a lot of them, at least mine, they're nowhere near.
So let me ask you something. So we started this conversation about dudes fronting about not eating pussy unless they wifey or whatever. What was your guys' line of, all right, I'm not really, and I don't mean something sexual, I mean just anything.
Yeah.
Like for me, for instance, for me, when I started getting a little money in my pocket, when the law firm started doing a little bit better or whatever, yo, I definitely was that dude that if I was chilling with a shorty and it was cool, vibe or whatever, and it was like September, October, and starting to get a little chilly in New York, like, yo, wanna hop it over to Jamaica for a weekend or something like that? And she didn't have to be my girl. It wasn't about that.
You didn't need it. It was about the experience.
But some people are like, yo, what are you doing? Like, that's not your girl.
Yeah, I'm living.
Exactly. It's like, it doesn't need to
I
be
want
my
the
girl.
experience.
She's bad. I'm
I'm bad.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
And we
honestly,
gonna-
at the end of the day, we're going to do some bad shit.
Yeah, we're gonna go to this tropical island and puff and chill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of
and
course.
have a good ass time.
Without
so,
a doubt.
So what was you guys like? Did you have that like where it's like, well, you know what? Nah, I'm not doing that for her. Like she's not wifey.
Oh, I'm making mine sexual. All the time, mine was the massage, baby. I consider myself a very good masseuse. Once we got to get to know each other, I'm like, hey, so you look a little tense. You need a massage? I'm really good at that. Good. Always worked.
So here's a $1 million question though, because I've tended to use my masseuse skills in the past as well too.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: how long did that massage actually last?
About 5 minutes.
Yeah, so therefore the masseuse skills never ever were able to engulf or
Reach
show
his
out.
peak.
Yeah, exactly. So
I ain't gonna lie. I'll give a quick story. This is not sexual. My wife tells this all the time. She's like, they always ask, "Oh, how'd you guys meet?" And they tell the story. Our first date, I freaking gave her a foot massage in the car. It was a wrap. It was done.
Potty done.
It was over. I mean, she was like, I'm in love with this guy.
yeah, you did it. You reeled it in. Did you
that
feed
goes
her
back-
prior to that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you gave her dinner and a foot rub.
Dinner and a foot. Unfortunately, the dinner was fucking disgusting. But
But the foot rub made up for it.
no. You know what's crazy is that I had to make up for it because I took her to a restaurant that was horrible. Like the food was fucking disgusting. So like,
So you were just trying to make up any way I
I was
could.
like, I gotta make up for this. This
Damn,
shit
you
was
got
disgusting.
fucked up.
Yeah.
I get that. I get it.
What was yours?
I know. I did just real quick. I did that one time. It wasn't a chick that was my girl, but I was. It was actually the first time we'd ever hung out, and I was trying to get it in with shorty or whatever. She worked. Matter of fact, she worked at J.P. Morgan Chase.
Oh, that's crazy.
So
It's a name.
Dominican shorty,
Never mind.
Dominican shorty, and I took her to the spot in Brooklyn. And I don't even know how we ended up in Brooklyn because she lived in the Heights and I was living in the Bronx. I don't know how we ended up in Brooklyn. But anyway, took her to the spot, Caribbean spot. She had the jerk wings or something like that. It's a couple other things. Yo, she hit me up the next day. She was like, yo, have you been to that spot before? And I was like, I think so. She was like, yo, I was on the toilet like the whole night. I was like, oh, my bad.
Needless to say, y'all, I don't think y'all saw each other again.
Nah, it was a wrap. If you try to impress a chick and
Food
you
is
give her the
important.
shits,
Food is important.
it's a wrap.
So I will say this, man. I've been a big dude my whole life. I don't think I've ever had the instance where I've ran a date into a shitty situation. I'm just saying. Just say. No. I never had that happen personally like that, like a bad dinner date type of thing. Very cerebral with the moves that I made as a kid. Like I planned everything from the playlist that was going on from the iPod to you know what I mean. Everything was
Or
pre-planned.
even before the iPod, the mixtape.
The mixtape, facts.
What y'all know about the mixtape?
Facts. Throwing in the right,
R&B mixtape.
Yeah.
Or have it playing in the background while you're on the phone with her. So
Yeah.
what you doing? What you doing right now?
All of a sudden you throw on your bass from Boys to Men voice.
Yeah, you know I've been thinking about you all day, right?
Hey, baby. All day on my mind. Nah, but it's true though. Listen, man, like there's just a lot that goes to trying to decipher. You know what I mean? You just got to make the best. Yeah, it's all right. You got to make the best with what you got, and you have to continuously learn with your growth. And that the failures are supposed to help you move on and look for signs in the next one. And signs within yourself too, though, because it's not always on the individual. It's on you too.
And be patient. Don't feel like you have to run into a relationship. Like I have a friend. He's always, I want to be married. I want to be married.
Serial.
Take your time.
What's it called? Serial relationship.
Serial dater.
Serial.
Just take your time, and you'll know.
It's got to come to you. You can't just force it.
You know when it's the one.
Definitely. And on that note, it's a wrap for this episode. We appreciate you joining. We appreciate you joining us on this journey. Join us for our final call afterwards.
Yeah, our last call segment. You're not going to want to miss this one.
Last call, definitely.
You definitely will turn up.
Yeah, which is why it's Brian, Malachi, and Conrad on this episode. This season, as previously said, you can find us on One Institution Media's platform as we have officially joined the OIM family. You can also still hit us up on our social media pages, including Instagram at SNA Live Podcast for your questions and feedback. And in the words of Shirley Chisholm, if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. We out.
You have just tuned into The Last Call on the SNA Live Podcast.
And we're back for the last call. And for this particular last call, we have 2 topics for you, plus our What You Rockin' With segment. But for our last call, as is tradition, we gotta pour it up.
Yes. Even though we have a little bit in the glass, gotta double down on that a little bit. Last call for everyone, especially if you're at home listening to us.
Yes, sir.
Don't do that if you're driving in a car. SNA Live Podcast does not support anyone drinking and driving.
Should be chilling in your crib, chilling in the lounge, something. Like, just do not be driving out there.
Oh, my bad.
5-0 will pull you over.
Yeah. And can't say that we're the ones that told you to have the last call with us.
You will get locked up.
Cheers, fellas. Salute.
Cheers.
Salute.
All right, man. We're here for the last call, and Lord knows we are going to need this drink.
Yes, sir. Don't drink and drive, or you will be calling me.
Martindale Associates.
Facts.
And I'm not giving you a discount.
No. Even if you are a premier member.
Yeah.
The first member?
They're the first.
First, the premiere. So, our first topic for last call. Strippers. Let's get it in.
Booty poppin', booty
pop, pump.
So,
Shout out to Tony Baker.
booty pop.
I think you could buy that ringtone, actually.
I want it.
You did? See? Yeah. Big shout out. Listen, anyone listening, whoever never heard of Tony Baker, man, you must pull up your IG.
definitely.
Tony Baker.
Funniest dude on Instagram.
The funniest dude who hasn't had a big break yet, yo. I don't understand why he has not been in a big movie.
Soon come.
Don't let that shit happen with us, man. I would gladly fund something for that guy, man. That guy's hilarious. But yeah, talking about the booty pop pump, booty pop pump.
So, Cardi B is probably right now the most famous of former strippers, at least, because before her it was
Trina.
Amber Rose. No, Amber Rose.
Yeah, Amber Rose.
Okay.
Amber Rose was.
Amber Rose. Yo,
I'm saying Trina's the original. If you think about it, hip hop. Trina was the original.
I didn't know Trina was a stripper.
Yeah, hell yeah,
man,
bro.
Miami. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Wow. Trina was a stripper, bro.
Yeah, man. That's where
Trina was a stripper.
That's where what's his name? That's where you met her.
Trick Daddy?
Trick Daddy.
them
You
in
met her
the
at
strip club.
Say word.
Yes, sir.
How did I not know this?
Yeah, man.
bitch.
Yeah, she was a stripper,
Wow.
man.
That's crazy. All right, so you learn something new every day. So I did not know that. Okay. So once again, as far as right now, Cardi is probably the most famous one. She just won a Grammy.
BX, baby. BX.
Yeah, BX Burrow.
BX for days. Shout out Cardi B.
No shame.
I fucks with her because she's like every chick I ever grew up with.
Yeah, man. Yo, she like every time I see her, I'm like, yo, that's such and such. That's such and such. Like, she's so BX. I fucks with her hard. So I'm just gonna say 2 words to start off this topic. You ready?
Yeah.
Actually 3. Sue's motherfucking rendezvous.
Oh, God. I don't know if we have enough time in this segment. Listen, I will say this, man. We from the era of Sue's in his prime. Like, I know when we was in the Sue's mode, we were part of the original crew. Like Remy Martin had said in her song, we don't stop. What is it? We don't.
And the bouncers don't check us at the door.
Yeah,
Walk
we
around
ran the metal detectors.
Yeah.
That was our crew, notoriously in Sue's Rendezvous.
So for those that don't know, Sue's Rendezvous was one of the most popular strip clubs.
It was like the Black Diamond before, all these King of Hearts. It was that strip club before.
So, contrary to popular belief, it wasn't in the city. It was actually in Mount Vernon. And dudes would come up from wherever.
Ball players. I mean, everybody
Actors,
who came to New York.
Wall Street, everything.
Everyone who came to NY knew they had to go to Sue's.
Like, you could be from Brooklyn, you could be in downtown Manhattan, the furthest point from uptown. And you could be from fucking Far Rockaway. It didn't matter. Sue's Rendezvous was that spot.
Yes, it was, man.
So so just to clarify, what era, what year are we talking about? What years?
So for us, because that was me and Rod.
It's early 2000.
99 to 2001.
A little further, maybe 02.
Yeah.
Like good. It was a good 4-year burn, maybe. Like 99 through.
Spent a lot of money.
A lot of bread.
When you
was
think about
spent
it now,
there.
you're like, God damn.
So the thing about Sue's for me was it wasn't just like a strip club where you just sit down and there's women stripping and you throw money and that was just it and there's music playing. It was a party.
It was a movie.
It was like what we do here.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
little PG.
Yeah,
we do a PG version.
Yeah.
It's an ass, yeah.
Definitely. It was just like you walked in and the party was just going and you just felt just amazing. Now, after a while, it died down and it just
It took
kind
a
of
little while for it to die
Hold
down.
on,
though.
it had a great run.
It took years. Yeah.
Like a long time.
Yeah, it had a great run. But I just remember being there on so many nights where it was just and it was just engaging. You know what I'm saying? Where it was just like the strippers was cool with you were cool with the bartender, the bartender was cool with you doing shots with the bartender. It was just, now granted, you going like Malachi said, a lot of dough was spent.
Oh yeah.
A lot of dough, bro. Because they was out for your pockets. Best believe.
If you're not from New York, a lot of these girls that was in the videos, a lot of them came from Sue's.
Yo, real talk, man. Actually, a majority of them during that time frame was always in videos.
China.
Shout out to China. Corona
was good.
Corona was, oh gosh.
India.
And there's a couple other girls, man. Like, the thing though that makes it a little bit easier is that when you know the owner of the spot, and then you know the strippers themselves, like on a personal level, your experience there is so different.
Yeah.
Because the girls go out of their way to fraternize with you.
Yeah, show you love.
And
then other dudes that don't know, like, who the fuck is these dudes?
But that's what started a lot of the problems
That's what
in
started the
Sue's, that
problems
when
that
you
used to
had
happen
people
outside.
who had
Yeah.
these connections
The
inside.
motherfuckers be hating.
Yo, bro, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad there. The time we were there was bad. Because like Lee said, like for the Malachi had made a mention before about a lot of bread being spent. It's not necessarily always on the women. Like, we were during the era where we was popping bottles. So
Yes,
dudes
sir.
in there, like, fuck. It used to bother me when Baby Back used to buy a bottle of Behringer's. It was like white Zinfandel. A bottle that we can pay $10 for in the liquor store. That shit was like $120 there.
$20, yeah.
And he was balling with the wine, yo.
Time out. Time the fuck out.
Yes, he did. He used to buy it.
Who in the fuck is up at the strip club talking about, yo, I got that Zinfandel, son.
Yo, I don't know, man, but they sold them shits like crack.
Yo,
during
pass me that
time,
glass
too.
when you want to top this off.
You know what it was, too? It was
I'm on my
for-
Zinfandel shit right now.
You had two chicks back in the day. You had the chick who drank Henny, and then you did have the chick who drank wine. So, you know what I mean? Like,
True. Most of them was Henny.
a lot of them were Henny.
I drank a lot of Henny in Sue's Rendezvous.
I drank a lot of Henny off of strippers in Sue's Rendezvous.
I'm like, right now, I'm just sitting here, flashbacks. Of, you remember that night? We went in there about 15 deep, and we had literally about 30 or 35 bottles in there.
That's my point. Yo, like, the stacks that would drop there, it was insane.
To the point where when we had to drop everybody off, the next morning we called, every single person threw up. Because we were literally just Alizé, freaking Hennessy,
Vodka,
Moet. Vodka.
You brought it back with the Alizé.
Alizé.
Yeah, that
That's
was the era though,
That
man.
was the era, yeah.
Dudes was drinking Incredible Hulks.
Incredible Hulks, yeah.
What y'all know about
Imagine mixing 4 of those different freaking liquors.
for the youngins listening, what y'all know about that Red Passion?
Yeah, facts.
I think that's the only time in my life I ever threw up from drinking. It was that night.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. That was epic, man. But Sue's was a great place. And then you was talking about like how when you walked in, not only was it like just it was a movie and everybody you seeing like you're walking by celebrities like fucking Tracy Morgan.
But for us though,
I was just
rappers.
about to say
matter of
he
fact, yo, I'm
stayed
tight
there.
at Tracy because
Yeah.
I'm watching this dude on TV and he outside trying to bum a cigarette from me at the time. I remember telling him, me, yo, bro, I watch you. How are you asking me for fucking cigarettes? Oh, you know what I'm saying? I ran out, you know.
on, man, give me a cigarette, yo.
He's like, all right, whatever.
I'm about to get somebody pregnant tonight. Shout out
You
Tracy.
ain't
That's
yeah,
my
facts,
yo.
man. And there was a lot of dudes. I mean, I seen a lot of characters from SNL there.
Yeah, they definitely.
I saw Keenan there.
Oh, word.
I saw Keenan at Sue's.
Say word.
I saw Keenan at Sue's. I actually had a conversation with him because he was looking a little uncomfortable in there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I was doing a walk by from the bathroom, which I used to love the bathroom because it was always next to the locker room.
Yes, it
And then
was.
you do a little peek in there, like,
Hey, oh, okay, who's up next?
Just Spreewell, Marbury.
Yeah, there was always
Iverson
celebrities
used to
and
come up
stars
in
in
there.
there,
It was
yeah.
all types of people in there. That was a good time.
But strippers, listen, man. Good times.
Yeah, great times.
I mean, at the end of the day, it really was, man.
So is it just me, or now at this age, you know, being over 40, it's not the same anymore? Like if so I've maybe been to a strip club maybe 5 or 6 times since I've been married, and for the most part it was always because like for a bachelor party or a freaking birthday party. It's not the same anymore. It's like it makes you think like, what the fuck was wrong with me? Why was I in here spending all my money in it? I guess now you got responsibilities and shit. You got kids. You think about you just throwing freaking stacks of money at somebody. But
I think it's that, and I think it's just the maturity of like this is just I've been there and done that. You know what I mean?
But at that time, we used to see people our age in there fucking spending money. I mean, now
Yeah.
we were young. We were, 21, 22, 23.
Yeah.
You would see those old dudes, 50, 60, sitting in there for 3 hours just freaking spending money.
Yo, like real talk, like not to judge anybody, but just for me personally, in terms of like my like the initial emotion that pops up, that shit looks sad to me.
It does, yeah.
You referring to like an old dude?
An old dude, but like
Yeah.
sitting in there for hours, dude.
Like just sitting by himself,
And by yourself.
Yeah, like just by yourself with like a trench coat on. You know what I'm saying? Like just looking real, like.
Well, I'll
pervy.
say this, man. Coming to Jersey and going down south fucked me up with strip clubs. Because, like, to touch on that even more, what you said, that old dude out in Jersey and in down south, they're able to bring in a fucking cooler. So you got guys in there with drinking Coors Lights out of a cooler, sitting like he's tailgating at the game. That's when it gets pathetic to me. But listen, everyone goes to these places for their outlets, and it is what it is, man. I mean, look, I think everything is. You go out to eat, why? Because you're hungry.
Yeah.
You go out to a club, why? Because you want to go out and dance and have a good time. I think everything goes lock and step with whatever the mood is with you. If you find your way into a strip club, obviously you're going there for whatever the experience of a strip club is.
Yeah. I
I
guess.
I mean, but at the end of the day, realistically, I'll talk for myself. I think it's really weird being the guy to go in there, standing against the wall, looking like a prude. Like, you shouldn't just come in here at all. You know what I mean? Because like that feeling rubs off on other people, and it feels very judgmental.
Because you look like a stalker, yo.
That's my point. And it's like weird, and like,
It looks like when they leave, you're gonna follow them and be like, "Hey, I really enjoyed your show."
so you told me I was the most handsome guy you've ever seen before.
Yeah, baby, I was just saying that. It's just the part of the gig. No, but I mean, I think I really
felt that.
like you.
I felt that.
I'm in love with you.
Can I take you out to eat, please?
That hit me. That hit me in a special space.
Dude, those
Get
women,
out of here, loser. Go that way.
Go that way.
it's a game. Like
Not
it's a
you
game.
again.
Yeah, it's a game.
Now, but listen though, I will say
Loser.
this. I will say this. This could be off of personal experience. I've had great experiences with strippers where it isn't just that. Sometimes some of the strippers, either they knew you or they really did dig you a little bit.
Yeah.
Your dance and your experience with them was a lot different than.
Yeah, yo. Sometimes I be up in there and have like legit conversations.
Yeah.
They're just on some like chill shit. You know what I mean? Because my thing is like, look, if you were the type of dude that doesn't get women in general, then your experience in a strip club is different because you're looking at it like you're watching a movie. Like you're sitting down and it's like they're on a screen. But if you're like cool with women and can engage and rap with them or whatever, it's a real chill situation. You know, they're people at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
No, they are, man. But it's funny you said that about how guys see things different. So I got a quick story for you.
Yeah.
We had a dude that we were working with at the time when I worked at Con Ed. He was an older guy than us, and it took him a long time to finally pass his A license. So his wife was very, very like locked downish on him. Like he had to call when he went out for lunch. Type shit. It was pathetic watching. It really was.
Lunch at work?
Yes. Like when we went out, that was his time to call and be like, hey, you know, baby, everything is okay. We're going out to get some sandwiches. I'm with such and such and such. And we'd be sitting there like, yo, bro, really? Wow. Like she knows all our names. Like really? Like you got to tell everything. So
sad.
Tell her what you eating.
Yo, for real. It was dead ass. And anyone who's listening to this that's worked with me and knows exactly who I'm talking about, they're laughing right now. Now, this guy finally passed.
We're talking about you, Fred. No.
Yeah. Joe. I'll give you his first name. Joe. So listen, we ended up taking him to shit, man. What's the joint over there? Over by 61st Street Bridge. Scandal. Yeah. We went there right after school. After we passed our tests and he passed finally, we took him there. This shit's like 5 PM. Now he had a grace period because he lied to his wife saying that we were going out to eat dinner. What he didn't know is that we already pre-planned to have 2 of the baddest strippers in there lap dance him for 20 minutes straight. He paid for it. And they took him, it was just them 3. Yo, when I tell you that my man came out with his hair popped up, his shirt ripped. Now this was the funny part. It was time for him to go home. He had glitter and perfume all over him. Do you know the panic that went through this guy? No. I'm gonna tell you the level some people go through. My man went outside, threw on some old coveralls, and actually dipped his hands in muddy water that was like pooled and put it all over himself.
On the street?
Yes. Yo, we're really, and now we're drunk too. We're like, dude, yo, this is what it's come to. So some people have to live that type of lifestyle. But listen, that story there, I just had to say it because this guy came out and you could tell that it was the best experience he ever had in his life.
Here's another thing. I know one of you guys do it. Don't freaking lie to me right now. You ever did the, yo, why you in here? You so beautiful.
I think you get there at that one point in time when you drinking.
Yo, you so beautiful. Why you doing this? I can show you a better life, girl.
I was with you until I can show you a better life.
That was out there. That was the extra step, man. No, not that part.
Why you here?
So yo, how you ended up here, yo? Like, what's your story?
But how fucked up that sounds. It's like, yo, how'd your fucked up life get you to this fucked up place? That's really what it sounds like.
What happened in your life that you ended up here?
And listen,
shout out to the strippers though. A lot of them, they were doing that to go through college.
Yo, some of these, most of these girls were hustlers, man.
They were hustlers.
Definitely. So I remember being in college, and everybody remembers. Well, not everybody, but for the most part, people remember the movie Players Club.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's a cult classic.
Hell yeah,
Diamond. Oh,
so Lisa Ray
love you, Lisa.
was the star, and she was stripping to pay her way through college. So I want to say that movie came out like in 97, 98, somewhere around there.
Somewhere around.
Yeah, you're not far from it. It's got to be around that.
Because I remember being in college, and I remember how. So I was always working in college, right? So I didn't have a scholarship or nothing like that. So I was, just trying to make money to, put some money in my pockets to eat. So I remember distinctly, one of the jobs I had was I was working the front desk for the dorm, and I remember there would be this group of girls. There was about 2 or 3 of them. And they would always come in like around 2-3 o'clock in the morning with these little suitcases. And I'm like, fuck, where y'all coming from? Like, what's going on? And then somebody put me on the game. They was like, yo, they work at the strip club, right? And I was like, say word. And one of them was, I was like, yo, does anybody know what club they at? They're like, nah, they keeping it on the low, yo. They don't tell nobody. I'm like, oh man, like, yo, that shit was real. A lot of women, they were in a position where they're like, look, I don't have a rich daddy. I don't have a rich uncle that's putting me through school. I'm trying to stay in school by any means necessary because I know I can better my life by doing this. So I'm going to go to the next city over.
I was about to say, usually it's a town over or a city
they
over.
Leave,
they drive a little while, half an hour, 45 minutes away.
Nobody.
And they did their thing. And like Malachi, like you said before, it was working, because it is work. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, especially.
And think about what they gotta go through, dude. Like,
no, listen.
Sweaty, just nasty dudes. Just
you talking
not us, but Though, you know,
Them other motherfuckers.
Those other dudes.
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about them other lames.
Just touching
It's
them.
not
and all
true
that
though.
shit,
Like you always see the weirdo at the spot.
So I remember like distinctly, there was this dude that I went to college with, and he told me this story, and I looked at him like like you know me. I don't have a poker face.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you say something crazy to me, my face is gonna show it. Brian over there laughing. Yeah, you know. So I remember this dude tells me, yeah, you know, you go to the strip club or whatever. You know how I do. You know, I go there, sweatpants, no drawers. You know what I'm saying? So when I get my lap dance, I can really like feel everything. And I just was like, my dude, really? That's what we doing out here? Like you ain't getting no play from no females, that you gotta go to the strip club with sweatpants and no drawers
To get off.
To get like, come on, my dude.
I mean,
Doing
listen,
that to get off, obviously. Yeah.
like I tell you something straight up, man. Throughout my year, you know, it took a lot for a stripper to get a rise out of me, so to say. Seriously,
Yeah.
like because I didn't take that moment for what it was. I just engulfed in the admiration of the body at that moment, but
Yeah.
like I wasn't personally getting off. The dudes that did that, like that, that's a whole nother level of individual.
They fell for the game though, you know what I'm saying? Because like if a dancer
But
slash
you're
stripper,
trying to bust off to a dance. That's really
yes.
what you're doing.
Yeah, which is pretty pathetic.
Oh my God.
But at the end of the day, like their job is to make you feel like
You're a king.
exactly that you are that dude and that she's so into you. If they're doing their job and you're kind of a lame, like let's be real. Because if you know the game, look, I feel like there's 3 types of dudes that go to the strip club, right? There's the pervs that, like you said, stand on the wall and just ogle, like just looking, staring.
They creep me the fuck out.
Yeah, me too.
exactly.
Me too. Then there's the dudes who are just there to have a good time. Then there's the dudes that just go to just stunt. You know what I'm saying? Like on some like just
That's a good breakdown.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good breakdown right there.
you know what I'm saying? So like
Spend all their money.
so the last 2 that I mentioned, they understand the game. The first dude, those are the ones I think that, because those are the regulars that come back and are just like, hey, you know, or shorty's like, you know, my rent's a little short this
Mm-hmm.
month. You know, my phone bill, you know, I'm just having so much trouble with this phone bill.
I got you.
Hold on, I got you. How much is your phone bill? It's 500. 500? Yeah, well, you know,
Actually, you know what, though?
I got my sister.
You know what though? Actually, though,
Almost.
that number was actually realistic back in the day.
You know what? Yeah.
I'm dead ass,
Yeah.
bro.
When they used to charge you for like long distance
Yo,
calls.
cell phones were expensive back in the day, man. You'd have a general plan. Remember, you had to have. Remember when you used to have to wait till after 9 o'clock to talk because your minutes were free.
Yes.
Because if not, like you only had like 200 minutes in a month.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that at the end of the day, that number is not really that far off for the time frame. At least when we grew up, because cell phone bills were expensive.
So strippers are not only found at the strip club, which y'all know about the hotel bachelor parties.
Oh yeah, that'll.
So I remember one particular bachelor party.
I had a
was
great
at.
story with that actually too.
So here at Smoke and Ashes, Cigars and Haberdashery, 200 Wall Raven Drive, Teaneck, New Jersey, 07666, we have a pool table.
Yes.
And if you shoot pool, you know what a cue ball looks like.
Yes.
So I'll just put it out there that I was at a particular bachelor party, and this particular stripper
Cue ball in the corner pocket.
made a cue ball disappear. Whoa. And I was
Round
like,
of applause. Yes, please. That's talent right
Oh yeah.
and when you see that shit in real life, you're not that you're not enjoying yourself, but it's more amazement.
Of course it is.
They're
yo.
just sitting there like, wow.
Where did that ball go? No, it's true though, man. It really is. I've seen some
there.
funny
What's your
things.
story?
So, give me a second to try to reconfigure the.
So I was gonna say real quick. We talked about Sue's. I'm not gonna lie. My other spot was Golden Lily.
Wow, I forgot about that
So-
spot.
so-
It was a little
So
trash.
Malachi,
It was a little trashier.
We
but
went there once together, a group of us. We had gone there. This had to be in the early 2000s as well.
Okay.
Yo, the Golden Lady was too thugged out.
It was a step down from Sue's. It was trashy and hood.
major
And,
You
step
might
down.
get shot in the parking
yeah,
lot.
you might.
You
get shot.
might get shot
Yeah.
shot in the lap dance room.
You might catch a hot one.
Yeah, don't touch a girl the wrong way. Yeah, it was wild. It was wild.
Golden Lady was. It was bad.
Yeah, I know some dudes who had some stories. Not me, but I know some dudes who had some
Speaking of
stories.
Bronx strip clubs, we can't forget about Sin City.
No,
You know what? I never got into Sin City.
So I had gone to Sin City.
I was out of the stripper stage, you know, at that point.
So I'll give you a quick
I went
story.
one time.
I'll give you a quick story with this. We were working at Con Ed. We were young. They were about 3 years in. It was Halloween, right? We were working overnight. We were working in Mott Haven section. We were in charge of each other ourselves. There was nobody watching us. So we banged out the job, and we decided to pull off the construction worker gig as our costume. We took the company truck. We parked it outside of Sin City.
Yeah.
We put the barricades out, the cones and everything like we were on a job.
Wow.
And we went inside for 3 fucking hours. And we went in there with our coveralls, hard hats, everything. We just blended in as some construction workers. That was good times.
So it's our costume. What's the problem? Yeah, Halloween.
Yeah, exactly.
We get heavy into Halloween, yo. We just decided to dress horse. No, but Sin City though, like it was a crazy because once again, it was this was after the fall of Sue's Rendezvous.
Yes, that was the next one.
Sin City was the next one. So you would bump into celebrities there too.
Yeah.
Yes, you would.
It looked like Vegas. So they had that whole Vegas.
Yeah,
whole
definitely.
Vegas thing.
But that
That's why I
place
didn't
got
like
shut
it.
down
That's
so
why I didn't
much,
like it.
man. It got shut down a lot.
It was too commercial for me. That's why.
Well, it got shut down because they was fucking dealing coke out of the motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There was a lot of shit going on there. Because I don't know if you remember Sin City, you had the grand room, and then there was another room off to the side that kind of looked like an alleyway that was just converted into a hangout room. And that's where a lot of the dirty shit would go down out there.
Yeah.
But
I almost got into a fight in Sin City. I remember there was these other dudes. I think they had like a bachelor party or something like that. But so I was in there probably like 6-7 deep. No, matter of fact, I was there for a bachelor party. These other dudes, they like bumped into us and they kept bumping into us or whatever. They started talking shit. And it was like 2 or 3 of them.
But that
We were
bothered
like
me the most.
7 or 8.
But when we're around mad pussy, why the fuck you want to fight me?
I
Yo,
don't get that.
I never understood that.
Bumping into me all night. He's like, yo, bro, you good? Don't worry about it.
At
Go
the end
party.
of the day, we're surrounded by beautiful women.
Yeah. What are you mad about?
First of all, why are you even paying attention to me?
Because you probably was getting the lap dance by the joint. He was eyeballing all night and he was tight.
Why are you mad, son?
We're going to talk about strip clubs in the Bronx, though. We can't forget to talk about the real dirty dirt.
Oh yeah, I know where you're going. Hunts Point.
Shout out to The Wedge.
Nasty.
Shout out to Harry's The Triangle.
Nasty. Even though your pants never come off, you might leave there with STD.
Yo. Got another story over there, too. I had one of my young boys in there. He was in Harry's. We was working nights. White boy. Getting his little lap dance, right? He's super excited, obviously, because you'll understand the next stage of this story. So he's super excited, and Shorty decides to unbutton his pants. Thought he was gonna get lucky with like a little blessing. Oh, he got blessed, all right, because Shorty just slid her fucking little bottom to the side and just actually started humping him.
Nah.
No condom, no nothing.
Oh, I got a story like that too. Yeah.
No condom, no nothing. And
It's
ended
the
up-
AIDS.
And then he was dumb because he was young. And kicked off, I guess, somewhere in the middle of his little fracas. He decided that it was wrong, threw her off, turned into a whole nother thing. But only in those types of establishments can you find those types of stories happening.
I got a story where this wasn't in New York. Same thing, getting a lap dance. Unzip, boom, pulled it out. And dude had a white tee on. She threw his white tee over it and then jumped on it.
Like a chicken bag?
Like a chicken bag, yeah. Like, oh, you're safe, don't worry, your t-shirt is on. And he sat there the whole time.
So he was using a cotton condom.
Pretty much.
I'm not gonna say any names. You know who you are.
I know
You know who you are.
Shout out TB.
TB. Love it.
Wait, so speaking about strip clubs that are not in New York and not in the Bronx, we got to talk about just real quick this establishment that we recently frequented, where you want to talk about the saddest strip club that you've ever seen in your motherfucking life. First of all,
Let's preface that. We didn't go there saying let's go to the strip club.
no, that wasn't the purpose.
We were trying to find somewhere to smoke a cigar and we couldn't find anywhere. So
They lied to us.
They lied to us. We didn't know.
We called them on the phone and said, look, it's late. No spots are open except you guys. We're just looking for a spot to hang out, have a drink, and chill outside and smoke our cigars. They were like, oh yeah, come by. We have outdoor seating. We're like,
Liars.
perfect. But in like looking back on it, Why would the fuck would a strip club have seating outside?
Yeah.
So if you were up here, there was a thing during COVID. They did have outdoor joint, but it's the winter. Ain't nobody out here.
Yeah.
So obviously this location had to be somewhere that wasn't.
So essentially, we go in there, we ask about the outdoor seating. They're like, we don't know what you're talking about. We're like, fuck it, we drove out here. I guess we're gonna stay for a little while. We'll talk about dudes who just went there to just stare.
Yeah.
It was like fucking Loserville. Like I left out of there with less self-esteem. Like that's
You
how,
lost a piece of yourself in
like
there.
that it rubbed off on me.
Yeah,
I'm just sitting there like, yo, what? First of all, the chicks were not of the highest quality.
Not at all.
Number one. Number two, there was this one. She was like 7 feet. No, she wasn't legit 7 feet tall, but she was like 6'5" with heels on, tatted up from top to bottom. Now the tats I didn't mind, but and Malachi knows I'm not really into the skinnier of the.
And I'm not into tattoos,
So she was about a cool $108. And I'm just like, oh, what is going on? Like what happened to this night? We just trying to get some cigars and a drink.
Yeah, but down in that region, it ain't about that.
No.
They're those are the guys that go to the strip club for the buffet special during lunch.
Yo,
Who was we just talking about? And they was like, yeah, I go to strip. Yeah,
For the
but
wings.
I go there for the wings, only for the wings.
Yo, so first of all,
Wasn't a ball player
Lou
recently
Williams.
intro?
Yeah, Lou Williams.
So first of all, look, I can only speak for myself. I think it's nasty as fuck to eat at a fucking strip club. I'm sorry.
I've never had one meal in
Bro,
a
I've
strip
never eaten food of any sort, any kind.
Ever.
And the fact that they even have food to serve to me is gross as fuck.
Exactly.
Where's
First of
it
all,
coming from?
yeah, where you
Where's your
doing that
kitchen?
at?
When we opened this spot up, the health department was up our ass about the fact that we serve coffee, and we're like, well, what's going on with the milk and this, that, and the other? And we're a fucking cigar lounge. So you mean to tell me you can have women up in the place, bucket ass naked, sweating, and serving food is just not a problem? And motherfuckers just be up in there like, yo, the wings are slamming.
The South, I love y'all, but y'all a little backwards. I can't.
Yo, but they got full blown kitchens. So yo, not for nothing though, there was a strip club in Fort Lauderdale. It's called the Lion's Den. This spot was fucking dope. It was, for one, a top 5 steakhouse in the state at the time. When you rolled up, it had this Vegas feel. They had like the spotlights outside and the big statues with like lions and shit.
Yeah.
You get your car parked, you go inside, hostess will meet you up front. Now, their strip club was dope. They had tables everywhere. But then they had like strip dancing stages that connected to all the tables. So the girls would be able to dance and move themselves around your dinner table. You know what I mean? And make your way around. When you got there, they handed you 3 menus. They handed you a drink menu, they handed you a cigar menu, and they handed you a steak menu. You're there for the night.
Yeah, you're comfortable.
Yeah, you're there for the night. And like their full blown experience for me back then, that was dope. They hit you with everything. Now on the flip side, do you remember when we had gone down to Florida long time ago, Lee? Miami. We met up with Mondo.
Yeah.
And Mondo was like, yo, I got a spot for y'all. And he was overhyping it.
Yeah.
So our boy Mondo took us to this strip club underneath the highway. Like it was the version of Hunts Point.
First of all, you can stop right there where you say it was under the highway.
Bro.
Because you know who else is under the highway?
The hobos.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So we go into the spot. Bro, I swear to you, from the fucking first 30 seconds, I knew this was a setup on his part because he did this on purpose. He took us to the most hood location possible. Shorty on stage had stab wounds and bullet wounds.
Yeah. No, we seen like in the thighs.
No, like you seen the markings, bro. The scabs. There was midgets with little people with gunshots. Like it was horrible. Pregnant. It was a pregnant girl. And all he's doing is fucking laughing the whole time.
Nah, yo, it was crazy.
Down south get crazy when it comes to the strip clubs, though, man.
But I will say this though, I think Sue's will forever be cemented as one of the greatest ever. Yeah. Sin City had its time, but the South, they do get it popping as far as the strip clubs. They definitely do.
They definitely do.
They I mean, you said it before, Trina. Like she was the first one to set this whole thing off in terms of, taking that local notoriety and making it national.
What's that Juicy J say?
It ain't a strip club if they ain't
Showing
showing
pussy, yeah. So the story I wanted to tell before, and okay, we can end this on this. During a time frame where we were staying down in Miami, we were down there visiting a boy of ours who played for the Heat. We were staying primarily at this Marriott Residence Inn down in Coconut Grove. So we was living the high life down there, balling. So I remember one time, I don't know if you weren't around at the time, Lee. I had walked in and Trick Daddy was in the hotel.
No, I wasn't there.
I actually saw him in the same lobby. Saw him, made contact. He looked a little frazzled. Went up to him, gave him a dap. You know what I mean? Yo, Trick, man, much respect, man. Yo, your city's on fire. Yo, love the music, big fan. Automatically could tell the New York accent. Like, what are you doing? Where are you at? And I said, no, I'm just in the hotel. It's coming back. Yo, you need to come up to my room. We having a party. Now, who the fuck gonna turn down an invitation for Trick Daddy?
I never heard this story. Okay, go ahead.
I think you did. You just don't remember. We got so fucked up during the time. So, follow him up. We go upstairs, third floor, go outside. Once we get off on the landing, now the hotel we were staying in, they had an open balcony. So the open balcony would overlook into like the pool area. We get off on the elevator, you can see the balconies popping. There had to be at least 20, 25 people outside. Go inside, Trick telling them, I got New York with me. People showing love. Yeah. You go inside the hotel room, the shit was a straight porno set. There had to be at least 15 chicks in there. Half of them were getting down with themselves. The other half was getting down with each other. It was literally like if Sodom and Gomorrah was a place.
It was that hotel.
It was that hotel room. Damn. And like it was just too crazy because then for me, the real hood Miami dudes was there, like Trick, and they were doing that ogling thing when they were just sitting there and watching. You could see them drinking. The golds is on, and they mind with their red eyes. They brain going somewhere else. I'm sitting there going, you know what?
Time to go.
Yeah, this ain't for me. Trick, yo, appreciate the love, fam, man. You know what I mean?
Time to go.
I gotta go. I got some work to do, man. I'm out.
Because the second you start talking, you know what I mean? Oh, he's not from here.
It's a rap.
He got this dude. He ain't got no backup. You know what I mean?
It's a rap.
Yeah.
But just still though, just the whole. I don't know. I guess we all have standards at some point in time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, that just was a standard I wasn't willing to cross.
Yeah. I'll sell you on that one.
For that, there, man, we would definitely wrap up this stripper topic.
Yeah.
On that note,
and let's get to our next topic. The one. Does it exist? So Brian, I'm gonna let you start this one off. What do you think about the whole concept of the one?
I do believe that there is somebody for everybody out there. I just think it comes to a point in time where you have to be at whole with yourself. If you can find a way to love yourself and know everything about yourself, I think that's the only true way that you can actually go about loving somebody else. Truly. If you don't know who you are, it's hard to sit there and say you could love somebody else to death because you don't know how to even love yourself. I think if you come to a place in time where you're at that road, that crossroad where you know that you can, love somebody totally and unconditionally, and that person can do it back onto you, I think it's possible. Is it common? No. Because usually the one, in my opinion, is like finding lightning and capturing lightning in a bottle. It doesn't happen often. We own a nightlife spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've heard the stories from dozens, if not maybe even hundreds of stories from people, on top of my own experiences with people I know too. And you listen, you don't find too many of these victory stories of finding the one. That's a situation to circumstance where, again, it goes to some of the things we had mentioned before where, are you at a place in your life to be able to,
receive that?
Yeah. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that go into this. It's not cut and dry. I do believe it does exist because I think there is something or someone for everyone, but I just don't think it's that easy to find if you're not true with yourself.
Malachi, what you think?
So, I spoke earlier about, when I said that, Dr. Keenan's quote about, having baggage and finding someone who's willing to unpack it. But the truth is, especially now in the times we live where therapy is like big right now, especially us, in the Black community, I think you should be able to, all right, put it like this. You should get rid of that baggage before you bring that into a relationship. That's how I think it should happen. because now you're bringing your baggage. And
Essentially work on yourself.
Work on yourself first, because you're bringing that baggage and you're putting that on someone else. So immediately the relationship or the marriage is starting off on a bad foot.
Strain. There's a strain
Because
there.
now you have to try to work with this person and help them get rid of this baggage. And a lot of times it's usually not one person, it's usually two people. And maybe that's the attraction, is that you both know that you have this baggage and these issues and you're trying to work it out together. But being older now, being married, and with all this, this knowledge out there, and just, with podcasts such as, like we have, where they concentrate on relationships and how to, work on yourself. So again, I have a friend who I tell him all the time, again, he's the same person who's like, oh man, I'm so jealous of you, man. You happily married. I'm like, whoever said I'm happily married? Marriage is it's a job. It's a job. You have to work at it. In my opinion, no marriage. I hate these, especially these reality shows where they show like these people living this great life and their marriage is great. That's all bullshit. If anybody that's not married, that's bullshit. There's no such thing as this perfect marriage. Now, going to the topic, can you find the one? Yes, I believe you can find the one. Are the numbers in your favor? No, because again, I've seen people who've come into marriages and they were great for the first 2 or 3 years, and then next thing you know, they're divorced after that. So to answer the question, yes, there is the one, but it takes a lot of work to have a relationship or a marriage where it's gonna exist. So I have a friend. I see him I haven't seen him in person in years, but I see him on Facebook, and he's always touting like, oh, I'm so happily married. I love my wife. Like, everything is about his wife. And then I'm just like, at times I'm like, damn, that dude is lucky. He found the one. But in my head, I'm like, I think that's bullshit. I think
he's trying too hard.
He's trying too hard. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, nobody, like, you're not in bliss like that.
First of all,
unless you're in the honeymoon stage still.
No, they've been married almost the same amount of time as me.
So, but here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Like, social media is,
and we had an episode on this.
Yeah, we did. Check season 1. Smoke and mirrors.
Smoke and mirrors.
It's all bullshit, because nobody talks. I shouldn't say nobody. Rarely people talk about the bad times.
Mm-hmm.
They only want to chime in when it's something positive. So because they're only chiming in when something's positive. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, people post something 3 times a week, maybe 4, 7 days in a week. Those other 3 days, they didn't post something because nothing good was happening.
Yeah, that's
looking at it from a perspective of, I'm just going by what they post on social media, of course their life seems like it's perfect, because they're only posting the stuff that makes them look like they're in this wonderful
world
life.
Correct.
Usually when I see those posts, though, and it's the part that I'm really distraught about. Usually that post will come out when either the wife surprised the husband or the husband surprised the wife for like a trip. There's somewhere that's beautiful and it's great and it's my husband is the best, my wife is the best. But I rarely see like a post where I had a long day and my wife made me a cup of tea, and I'm posting that saying, yo, this is the greatest person out there for me. She's here at this moment, or this is the my husband.
Facts.
Doing the same thing. You don't see those posts. You only see people gloat when it's monetary issues that are involved, or things that are either
some grand gesture.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I don't take those people too serious, because you're only celebrating the good stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not
what it's
really
all about.
It's not about that.
It's actually more about the bad, because if you can persevere through that,
Correct.
that means you have a strong relationship.
Correct.
So I'm gonna fuck y'all up real quick. So the question is, does it exist? And this is coming from a person that's married. I know I've only been married 6 months, but I've been with my wife for 6 years. I don't believe there is a one.
There isn't.
Because the amount of people on this planet, we were talking about it before, it's 7 billion?
Yeah, we're up there.
So I think you'll find somebody that you connect with on a very, very high spiritual level, and that person can be the person for you, but I don't believe that is the only person for you.
No, because you're growing, though, constantly still.
You're constantly growing. Not only that, though, but I don't care. You could be one of the most popular people on the planet. Let's take Barack Obama. Mm-hmm. Arguably the most famous person on the planet right now.
Yeah, he's
arguably
known on any continent.
Yeah, arguably, right? So even somebody like that has only met but so many people, and his interaction with those people, for the most part, it's going to be probably brief. So to say that there's just this one person amongst literally billions, put a B, billions of people, I don't think there's a one. I think if you're lucky, you find one of them. But to say that there's just this one person, not buying it.
And speaking about Barack, I mean, everybody looked at him and Michelle and they're so great, they're so beautiful. I liked when they used to have interviews and they would talk about the issues that they had. Like everything wasn't always peaches, roses and everything. It was we struggled. He there was things that he did that pissed me off, and like I appreciated that because they weren't being phony. You know what I mean? They understood that things weren't always great. You know what I mean? Even though in the limelight and they're on camera all the time, it looked like they had this perfect relationship. No, the fact that they can talk about how we had issues. He pissed me off sometime. I don't want to be around him. She pissed me off. I appreciate stuff like you don't see that a lot nowadays. You know what I mean?
And then you got Donald J.
Well, his wife don't want to hold his hand.
Who showed us the flip side of when you're on camera and you still show it's not all peaches and cream.
Trying to hold his hand. She's like, get off of me.
Fuck away from me.
Get off of me.
Like, what the look she be giving him? Like, can't believe I'm still with this motherfucker.
Do I have to sleep in a bed with him tonight?
Oh, I doubt that they slept in the
No, I don't think so either.
But I mean, that's a great way to tie it in, Conway, and it kind of goes to what I was saying before.
Brother, my name is Conrad. I don't know who you're talking about.
My bad. It's the Glenwood Whiskey that's kicking in right now.
And shout out to these dudes, these four brothers.
These brothers, literally and figuratively.
Yeah. Who did this whiskey, man. This is normally, like I said before, Scotch, rye whiskey, bourbon. That's our lane. We don't do Jack Daniels. We don't do Jim Beam. We don't do Johnny Walker. High-end Scotch, bourbons, and ryes. It's been a very, 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 very long time since I was drinking just straight whiskey.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're drinking it neat.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know what neat means, it means no ice, no mixers, room temperature. It's pretty smooth.
2-finger pour.
Yeah, it's pretty smooth.
So this whole the one, right? I think it comes down to a certain level of understanding in life overall, where you and this individual are willing to cross different barriers through the different phases in your life. That can go to many levels. That's not just normal talking and understanding. That can go as deep as even opening up your marriage to bring in new things, to try to keep things going.
Or new people.
Exactly. I'm just being for real.
Open marriages is a thing out here, man.
It really is.
And I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
No, but who are we to judge?
Because there is no right or wrong. It's whatever works for you.
If the two people are fine with that situation, then that's what they're fine with.
Talking about strip clubs, there's couples that like to go to strip clubs.
Absolutely,
I know couples.
I know couples that do that.
Yeah.
I've been to strip club with my wife.
Yeah, it's facts. Nice. I've done the same. I've done the same thing in the heyday. I definitely have. But the truth is, though, that you have to have someone that's willing to grow, and if that person's willing to grow with you, and you can sit back and say that throughout the years as you've grown as an individual, you might be able to turn around and say, yeah, you know what, I found that one. You know what I mean? But it goes to a tremendous level of understanding, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of growth. And usually it doesn't work in the benefit of people.
I was just about to say, don't get caught up in these rom-coms or these fantasy on TV or movie relationships. That's not real life.
It's all bullshit.
That is complete and total bullshit. Like Malachi said earlier, it's a job. You have to work at it.
Yes.
Don't get it twisted. It's not going to all be honeymoon phase all the way through. There's going to be times you look at that significant other and be like, I can't stand the sound of your motherfucking voice right now.
I can't stand you breathing right now. I don't want to hear you breathing.
Get away from me.
I don't like your face right now.
Yeah, your face. Your stupid face.
Fucking face.
No, but it's true though, man. But listen, I do believe though that I think you articulated it perfectly. It's a series of ones. Because I don't think there is
just the one.
Just the one.
Yeah,
I don't.
Way too many people. Way too many people on this planet. So with that, we're gonna get into our closeout segment that we call "What You Rocking With." Malachi, I'm gonna start with you. What you rocking with this week?
Well, before you do, just keep it funky. And we're gonna give a little brief intermission between this one too. I hope what y'all rocking with stayed on topic. I'm curious to hear what y'all rocking with.
Mine definitely did.
All right, so
Mine didn't.
all right, so it's okay though. So we're gonna
Malachi always goes left with his.
You know, I always go left. Straight left.
living in a dream, man, writing his own rules and doing what he wants to do when he do. So this is our What You're Rocking With segment.
So I'm gonna keep it here. Keep it right here in these walls right here. I'm rocking with our customer base. I don't know what it's been lately, what's going on lately, but shout out to all our customers here at Smoking Ashes and Teaneck, man. Like I mean, I know we've all in certain stages like really just sat back and like, wow, we got a spot here, like people. So I'll tell a quick story. I had a brother come up to me literally like about a week ago, and he walked in. I never seen him before. He was with a friend of somebody we knew. And he came in and like sat down, whatever. Within a half an hour, he came over to me, and he just starts talking. He's like, brother, you don't know me. You're gonna get to know me. I just moved out here. Been out here for a little while. He's like, I don't even smoke cigars. He's like, my brother was a big cigar smoker. You know, he went to this place, and come to find out, I knew the lounge that his brother used to go to. And he's like, yo, as soon as I walked in this place, like I felt this energy, like this love. You know what I mean? Like I felt like literally as soon as I walked in the door. Then I sat down, and everybody was introducing himself, and brothers was like, hey, how you doing? Everybody. He's like, I don't really smoke cigars. He's like, but my brother was a cigar smoker. Brother passed away last year from COVID. Wow. I'm like, and then he starts talking to me. He stops, and this is a big dude and then he I don't know why I had to tell him like, dude, don't do that. But he's like, yo, I'm from Brooklyn, dude. I ain't soft, but I'm getting emotional right now. And the dude, like, his eyes were watering.
Started to tear up.
He was tearing up, and he's like, yo, y'all have something here, man. Like, I love shit like this, man. He's like, yo, don't stop what y'all doing. You're gonna see me more often. He's like, I felt my brother's presence when I walked in here, and I'm gonna start smoking cigars because of this place right here. I was like, I got emotional a little, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, like, wow. So I say all to say, dude, I'm rocking just with Smoking Ashes, 200 Wall Ring, Teaneck. We have a spot here. If you haven't been here, come here. Come through.
If you want an experience.
You want an experience. You're gonna get love. You're gonna get love here. Everybody is hospitable. Everybody comes here to have a good time.
DJs are top notch.
Meet people, and and just like that, brother. I kid you not. You're gonna come in here and you're gonna at least feel that same type of experience. So I'm just rocking with our Smoking Ashes customers, man. I love y'all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
I take that one.
Without you, there is no us.
Yes,
Facts,
sir.
man. We said that a lot.
Yeah.
We said that on air a lot of times too.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Brian, what you rocking with this week?
So we're staying on topic, man. Listen, I'm just gonna get right to it. Big shout out to all the outlets out there, for both men and women, but predominantly women utilize these. I want to give a big shout out to OnlyFans. I had to let that one ride out.
I feel some kind of way because I've never experienced OnlyFans, but go ahead.
Here's the reason why I say that. We had gone through a pandemic. So you had multiple people in the industry that could not perform anymore in person because COVID did stop that. Outlets like OnlyFans and, soon to be other platforms to come out will, always fill the void of something that's missing.
Yeah.
This OnlyFans platform, and there's a couple of them that are like that, they just gave women and men another outlet to make bread without actually having to have that physical contact.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? So there's no more sweaty guys ogling over you, and being the creep in the corner. They're doing it now online. They can choose how they want to shut things off and whatever they want to show.
In their own space
and yeah. So I mean, again, just keeping it real simple. Just big shout out to all those platforms that gave people an outlet during tough times to maintain money coming through and still providing a service. So big shout out to the online world and OnlyFans.
Yes, sir.
So on that note, there, Conrad, Please tell us, what are you rocking with?
So, crazy shout out to all the women with natural bodies.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm not a big Instagram dude. I got into it once we opened this spot up because I'm like, we got to promote. You know what I'm saying? So my Instagram is all about promoting. My law firm is all about promoting Smoking Ashes. And being on Instagram, you see all of these Instagram models with lipo and ribs removed and like curves and
you name it, it's done.
And contours that are just, you're just like, this is not.
Shout out to DR.
Natural.
Miami, Cali,
The doctors in DR.
Brazil. So like, I'm just like, yo, that like, look, it's your body. Do what you want with it. But just because it's your body, you can do what you want with it, doesn't mean everybody has to like it or appreciate it. So I'm rocking with all the beautiful women out there who have natural bodies. Whether that be you're working out, whether that be you eating White Castles at 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever your body is, like shout out to the women with all the natural bodies.
We love you.
Big up, man.
And that's what I am rocking with this week. And thank y'all for rocking with us. And this was the last call. And until next time,
cheers and salute.
Cheers.
And chill to the next episode.
Done.
Peace. We out.